Chapter 17, World War II and Its Aftermath, by Nina Palukin, Cole Pecora, Phil D'Arienzo, Mike Della Valle, and Tal Hawari. What were three major battles which affected the outcome of World War II, and why were they so influential? Out of the many battles during World War II, Stalingrad, Pearl Harbor, Coral Sea, and D-Day were the most influential. Stalingrad was the battle where Allies stopped the Axis powers from conquering Soviet lands. The Axis powers are a group of countries led by Germany, Italy, Japan that fought the Allies during World War II. This battle stopped the Axis powers from expanding eastward into Soviet Union's lands. In the Battle of Pearl Harbor, the Japanese attacked America with dropping bombs by airplanes. This battle forced the U.S. to go into war with Japan, which made Americans realize their situation. The Coral Sea set back the Japanese from taking islands important for their victory. The Allies, which were the nations that fought against the Axis powers, attacked by launching planes from aircraft carriers. Aircraft carriers are ships that accommodate the taking off and landing of airplanes and transport aircrafts. This battle stopped Japan from expanding. The Battle of D-Day took place in Normandy, France. This is where the Allies conquered France from the Axis powers. The victory gave the Allies a greater advantage of winning because the Allies now covered the Axis powers from the eastern and western sides.
Question 2. When Americans think about World War II, they tend to envision the European theater. However, the U.S. was heavily involved in the Pacific as well. But what are two ways the war in the Pacific was different from the war in Europe? The war in Europe was very different than the war in the Pacific. During the war in the Pacific, there were more naval versus land fights. During World War II, the ocean was full of sea-going vessels armed with the latest long-range ballistic and guided missiles, underwater nuclear-powered submarines with cruise missiles. Also, there was a lot of island hopping, an Allied strategy of recapturing some Japanese held islands while bypassing others. On August 6, 1945, during the World War II, and Douglas MacArthur deployed an American B-29 bomber that dropped the world's first deployed atomic bomb, a large bomb to vaporize large areas of the Japanese city of Hiroshima. The explosion wiped out 90% of the city and immediately killed 80,000 people. Tens of thousands more were later killed off of radiation exposure. 3 days later, a second B-29 dropped another A-bomb on Nagasaki, killing an estimated 40,000 people.